2, 1, 2. I don't need that. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Well, everybody, welcome to the Chicago Vintage and Custom Drum Show 2015. This is the 25th anniversary day. I'll tell you what a big day. We're here with my good friend Larry Mathews. Larry, how you doing, buddy?
Jim, how you doing? Good to see you.
I've been wanting to talk to you for a couple of years, and finally it's going to happen.
I'm happy
This
about
is
that.
great. You know, your booth has some really terrific stuff that I'm interested in. He's kind of a big deal at the show this year. He's got some interesting things we're going to show you today. Some of it now, and a little bit later, we're going to talk with Larry over at the Rebeats Cafe, okay? So stay tuned for that. Larry, I was just going over your booth here, and I see you got some beautiful stuff, but my eye just gravitated to this knob tension set. Could you explain this, what we've got here?
These were knob tensions, Leedy and Ludwig. They only made them for about 3 years. And unfortunately, they didn't catch on. It was a wonderful concept, way ahead of its time. They're very rare. They're only good for about 3 years. And I think George Way designed those, and actually he wound up losing his job over that design.
There was kind of the death knell for him, wasn't it?
And also the Kahn era ended. They sold it to the Ludwig family, excuse me. And so they were a very brief part of the vintage drum history. So
you know, I'm a little bit familiar with this tuning concept. It's interesting to see how things get improved upon or, resurface. Wartime drums, WFL, used a similar idea only with slats. Very interesting, and these are very similar, except they have the two knobs from what I see. But what a concept, and it's great that this set survived. How did you come across this set?
Actually, like a great many things, the wonderful Mark Cooper that we all know and love.
Mark Cooper's everywhere.
He and I are old horse traders from way back.
An old virus friend of mine, yes. That's amazing. Yeah, I probably have a million pictures of these. Mark has sent me many pictures of, things that have passed through his house. And I think I have some great shots of this set. Cool set, I'm telling you, Larry.
I love them.
Now let's look up to the back row here, guy. Larry's got a beautiful lineup of metal snares. Let's start with this one right here, Larry.
This one right here is a Ludwig 100-year anniversary, Black Beauty.
I see.
It's got all the Ludwig names on it. We got Junior over here, 100-year anniversary, 1909, 2009. And we got the rest of there's Dad.
Now, who made this? Who did that engraving?
This was actually Robert Aldrich did this.
John Aldrich again.
Excuse me. Robert Aldrich is the director.
I see.
The great John.
There you go. What's next?
To go next to that, we go 100-year gap from the 100-year anniversary to 1910, the first badge, probably one of the first snares made by Ludwig back in the day. You can look at the.
There you go.
They're soldered to the rim.
Yes.
No clips.
Look at that.
Pretty neat drum.
Signed by the chief, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Got them all on there.
So now, did you get that when he was alive? I mean, you got that a few years ago, right?
I actually bought that on eBay, to be honest.
All right,
Just
all
have
right.
his signature on it, so I got the rest of the family while I was here.
How cool. That is terrific. Now, this is very familiar to me. You guys may have seen this at another booth, and guess who? Tell them.
The wonderful Mark Cooper, once again.
How do you like it?
I started working on him 3 years ago, and I managed to weasel the Thunderbird away from him. The following year, I got the standard sensitive from him. And just 2 months ago, I finally got the Slingerland Black Beauty from him.
Now, I'm telling you, I'm so glad that you had the wherewithal to make it a point to buy all three. because when I was interviewing Mark, and, you know, this was a highlight of his booth,
Yeah.
and he called it the Trilogy. And the fact that they're still together and they're with a fantastic, responsible, serious collector like Larry Mathews. Tell them about this drum. This is a particular great story. I mean, this has been worked on by what? Oh, they've all been worked on by Adrian, but this Slingerland, this is a model after a Slingerland Black Beauty. Very rare drums, as you can see on my shirt. This is the 13th known to exist Slingerland Black Beauty that I kind of brokered that deal a few years ago. And I now own the 14th, but who knows, maybe someday a 15th will show up, okay? And this
Well,
is
I might have a little surprise for you. We'll save that for later.
I don't know, what do you guys think about that? That sounds a little fishy to me. I'm very suspect.
I can't divulge my secrets.
Larry Mathews, let's keep an eye on this guy. What a king collector. Larry, we'll be back with some more with Larry Mathews. Stay tuned, you guys.
Thank you all.
Well, once again, Jim Messina here for VintageDrumStock.com, right here at the 25th anniversary of the Chicago Vintage and Custom Show. This is 2015. What a show it's been, and I gotta tell you, we've really had some surprises this year. If you've been watching these videos, you're gonna see surprise after surprise. There have been a lot of celebrities here, and we've had some interesting conversations, some interesting pieces, but I think I need to let you know what we've got now. Check this out. Now look, we've got the 13th Slingerland Black Beauty here on my shirt, but I'd like to introduce you to Larry Mathews, who has discovered, look at this, the 15th known to exist Slingerland Black Beauty. This is news to me this year. Here it is in the flesh. Larry, I gotta know the story about this because I found the 13th Slingerland Black Beauty, and then there was the 14th, which I now own. Mike Corrado out there, of course, has some Slingerland Black Beauties. Dave Brown, some high-end collectors own the very few of these. They're, you know, look, like I just said, this is now number 15, and we're all elated to see this come into the vintage drum community. And I appreciate your bringing this out here, Larry.
Thank you, Jim. My pleasure.
Now, why don't you tell us a little bit? We've just got to know, where did it come from? What's the backstory?
Well, I was on Vintage Drum Setter's website. Good old Ned. We all
Ned
know
Ingberman. Ned Ingberman.
Great
Okay.
guy, great guy.
Yes.
And I saw it on there, and I couldn't believe my eyes.
Well,
and I'm like, I've always wanted one of these, and I'm just going to have to figure out how to go for that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
and you know, I must have been looking at it somewhere along the line, but I never realized that this had not been accounted for yet. I've seen, you know, a few of these now, and I'm telling you, this is in every bit as good a shape as number 13. Many times they have different issues. You know, some will have shell issues, some will have lacquer issues, some will have a little problem with art gold or maybe broken clips. But as I go around here, I don't know. Everything's here except I'm dim seeing and something a little miss here with the 3-point strainer lever. Okay.
The lever is an aftermarket.
It's an aftermarket because I think this could match. You could get this to match the art gold. It's a little coppery looking, okay? But as you know, and we have our celebrity magic boy here this year, Adrian Kirschler's here. Now, if you sent this piece to Adrian, he could do a little something with that. It's and it's not bad, don't get me wrong. You've got the stamp there, it's all correct, but you do want this art gold to match. You might want to, you know, we might want to confer with some other people about the degree of restoration that this you might want to do to it.
I'd love to do that, absolutely.
Ned, I obviously chose to leave it, which is always a good way to go. You know, you can't go wrong with that. But this is just kind of big news in the vintage drum world because these are very few and far between. And when one comes into the vintage drum community that we're not really sure about, we've never seen, we all get excited about that. And I'm certainly excited about this. What else can you tell me? I mean, what did Ned tell you about this? Where did he get it, you know?
What he told me was the gentleman that got with him on it to get information about it found this in a dumpster.
You want to say that again?
Found it in a dumpster.
All right, all my vintage collector friends out there, Mike, have you filled your pants yet? Look, that right there is the vintage drum collector's dream. I'm driving along the road, and there in a dumpster was a drum like this. Come on.
And this fella didn't know what he had. He took it to Ned, and he says, "I found this in a dumpster. Is it anything of value?"
Is it anything? I don't know. Gee, looks kind of junky, huh? Well, you know, I get calls like this seriously since I started the website that you know just makes you more visible, and people will call and my grandfather gave me something and I don't know, it sort of looks like that thing you were talking to that guy about, and it'll be something very rare, and it's always exciting, and that's how things surface, and I'm so glad that you got this because we were talking at your booth a little earlier. You also bought Mark Cooper's trilogy. I don't know how many of you out there are familiar with Mark Cooper's of Cooper's vintage drums. He has what we call the trilogy of drums, and basically they are black engraved, black beauty type drums. Why don't you tell us about those again for our folks out here that don't know? You had the Thunderbird one.
Well, I had the Thunderbird. I weaseled that away from him. A year later, I got the Ludwig Standard Sensitive.
Okay.
And then just recently, I got the Slingerland.
Now that's what I was getting at. Mark Cooper, and I'm not sure, Dave Brown, did you have something to do with that shell that Mark Cooper turned into Mark Cooper got the original artist shell, which is the same shell that they use for the Slingerland Black Beauty, and he sent it out to Adrian Kirschler. There's a name we all know. Adrian is at the show this year. What a star. We interviewed him here and it worked out great. But that particular drum, Mark Cooper sent to Adrian. He engraved it. So basically what he did was he turned a Slingerland artist model shell from the same era and turned it into a beautiful reproduction of a Slingerland Black Beauty just like this, only it looks absolutely brand new. In fact, Larry, you have that over at your booth.
It's over there, yeah.
What's your booth number?
Number 140.
No, number 140, which is over that way in the other room. You guys, go look at his stuff and you'll see this drum I'm talking about. But that's great that you own that trilogy now because you're the kind of collector that will appreciate that. I'm so glad it went from Mark, the whole trilogy, to you. And now look, you're a member of the Slingerland Black Beauty Club for real, along with some real heavy-hitting, top-level collectors.
But mine's a dumpster.
Yours is a dumpster model, right? Well, the 14th Slingerland Black Beauty that I ended up with had to have some work done to it. It came as just the shell and the two hoops. I'll tell you, the two guys that made it happen are sitting right in the front row here. Mike Corrado, Dave Brown, our friend from England, supplied me with the correct tube lugs that went with that. Mike took the whole project on. He finished it off with collar hooks, tension rods, the proper 3-point. So anyways.
Those two guys make a lot of things happen in our community, don't they?
They're movers
God bless
and shakers.
them. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Yep, let's hear it. Those guys are top-notch collectors, all these guys. We're a small community and kind of a tiny little community that are interested in this kind of stuff. And many of us are willing to pay big bucks for this kind of thing. And I'm not going to ask you what you paid for this, but seriously,
hopefully my wife won't ask me what I paid for.
Yeah. But coming from Ned, we all know Ned. Ned, you're a great guy. I've been following you for years, and thanks for supplying with this drum. I know you probably worked out a nice deal with him, and welcome to the club. I'm trying to actually keep track of all the Slingerland Black Beauties that exist, starting with maybe the one that Bunny Carlos first ended up with, up to number 15 here. So, Joe Luoma's got a couple, and this is only in the 5x14 size.
I'd love to see all of them. Is there any chance that I could ever get all of them together and we could do this someday?
I am working on that, and I'm going to add this to the page on vintagedrumstock.com. Yeah, I'm dedicating a page for.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay. Well, it's a work in the making. Trying to collect that. It's hard to do, really.
I'm going to get these two down here to double team you a little bit. We'll triple team.
Well, right after you, we're actually going to talk about another rare drum. Larry, this show this year is producing a lot of really cool stuff. Mike Corrado did some great deals. This is a fantastic deal. You got Adrian Kirschler here. It's befitting of the last show that we're having here because, you know, this show is moving on to a new menu. You know that.
Yep.
I'm going to ask your opinion about that. What do you think? You're going to move along with the show to that new expo center, or what's happening?
I am, but I'm going to miss this place. I like it here.
There's a
just
vibe.
Very comfortable. There's
Yes.
a comfortable vibe here, and very warm. And the closer you get to the city, the less comfortable I am. So.
It has its pros and its cons.
Yeah.
We just had Rob Cook up here, and he said his piece, and he really kind of made it all make sense. So he's got everybody's best interest in heart. So we can continue doing stuff like this. Now, in just a second here, stay tuned because we're going to be looking at another ridiculously rare and interesting drum. Plus, we're going to get some opinions from the experts. Mike Corrado and Dave Brown, they're going to take a look at this, and we're going to kind of grade this drum for Larry, okay? So stick around. We'll be right back with, you don't want to miss this interesting drum. Check it out. Jim Messina, VintageDrumStalk.com. We'll be right back in just a second. Hey! Thank you, Larry.
I sent that to him.
This
This is from me.
Is that that's what he
Yeah, I
said?
did
The
that.
lever?
what a connection, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I sent that to him.
Okay,
Yeah,
now-
I did that for him.
When did you send it to him?
Let me think. Within a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
So Ned has had this from, when did he come up with it? Ned.
He asked me about it about a year ago. Maybe more.
Well, I haven't talked to him for ages.
Yeah. He doesn't do vintage. He does
No, he doesn't. No, he's
mail order, mail order.
so I mean, let's take a look
wore
at
out that welcome.
Joe. Yours are great condition.
Yeah.
Mike,
Yeah.
what's your best one that you have not had redone? Or you probably had them all redone, right?
What?
Any Black Beauties that you own? How many now?
Over 100.
No, I mean.
Oh, these?
There's 100 of these?
Oh, there goes that. There goes that kind. No,
All right.
I got a 5 and a 6.5. I haven't read.
2, and Dave has
Yeah.
2.
My-
Same 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just cleaned them up. I didn't have any plating or
So
anything.
what I'm looking for is, I'm trying to build that page, and it's difficult to do. But, where would this one stand as far as a 1 to 10? If you want to do that, Tony, look at this. Got to do 1 to 10 condition-wise.
I'll tell you one thing about the shell. This one had the engraving really pops out. Some of them, the engraving isn't quite as
Yeah.
bright. This one, the engraving, I have 2 of them.
Yeah.
One, the engraving is like this, and maybe a touch brighter. I don't know, but it's so it's just something. Some of them, the engraving is
Yeah.
just stands out more.
And
than the others.
on the 14th Slingerland Black Beauty, we had a lot of this. Remember, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
The
freckling,
dots,
yeah.
or what is it? Just that's
I
in
call
the
it
lacquer.
freckling. What do you call
The
it?
one I bought. Yeah, freckling.
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 Like the one I
It
bought.
looks like freckles. Yeah, it looks like
the
freckles.
lacquer?
You know, what is it?
Yeah.
Age marks. You know.
Yeah, so I'm saying, just for Larry's benefit, we got all our experts here, guys. As far as restoration, condition,
I'd
where
leave
what
it
what
like-
grade?
What I would do, I'd take it apart. I'd
Yeah.
take it apart.
Right.
I'd put a little lemon oil and put it back together.
And forget the freckling.
Yeah, but I'd leave the freckling.
Just leave the
alone.
freckling,
Yeah.
which would.
Because if you took the lacquer off, you're gonna have the freckling underneath. That's.
So you're
not
thinking
the
that's in the
lacquer.
black nickel? You think?
The freckling is the history of the drum.
Yeah. No, I would.
And the freckling is more on this side than that
It
side.
seems to.
Yeah.
Yes, it seems to
It's
be.
more dominant on this side. Unfortunately,
Yes.
the throw-off
came
side
pretty
has
close.
less. So the,
Yeah, you did
Yeah.
good.
Joe, that
Did
could
real
have been
good.
the side that faces the audience.
And what about our art gold here? If you look on the insides and
I would take it apart, clean it,
clean it,
lemon oil, put it back together, enjoy it.
and that's it.
Absolutely.
Because it's in enough. There's enough. There's no rust. You know my thing on rust.
Yes, yes, yes.
There's no rust, so nothing has to be re-cleaned.
And our clips seem to be. I'm not
lemon
seeing
oil
any
will
cracks.
Clean the dust and the grime.
Uh-huh.
You got a perfect example.
The integrity of
And
the
then
drum
that's-
is right.
Now, this is in good enough shape to just clean.
Now,
That
Mike,
works
I know,
for me.
I know you do 1 to 10. Joe doesn't do the 1 to 10
I
thing,
do
but
1 to 10 because I have no idea what a 7 means to somebody
right.
or
Yeah.
a 3. That's like somebody told me they were giving 110% the other day, and I said 110% out of what, 1,000%?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their own idea of numbers.
Yeah.
But to me, good, very good, excellent, excellent. Plus,
Okay,
bad.
let's use that.
I'd say good plus. Yeah.
Good plus?
Very good minus.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm happy with that.
Minus not being a bad thing. It's
Yeah,
just, you know,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So Larry,
Yeah,
congratulations, my
Thanks.
friend. I mean, welcome to the club.
I'm tickled
We're
pink.
all Slingerland
It's
Black
an honor
Beauty
for me
owners
to be
right here.
standing here with these legends.
He's the treasurer.